He's emailed us because he couldn't get in touch on Skype earlier. He can't get his microphone to work, but he would like to say, in respect of your subject of faking death, Elvis Presley's not doing too bad, is he? Oh. And also, Tommy, why did you get sacked from Talkshite Radio last time out? From Andy.
Last time round? Yeah. The last time I was sacked by Kelvin McKenzie, he said it was because I allowed a caller on the night that the Queen Mother passed away to say that he'd like to shoot the whole of the royal family.
Right.
And what had happened, actually, was the caller had come through saying that he wanted to say what a wonderful woman the Queen Mother was. So I kind of switched off because that is not my kind of electric call, you know? And I had a pile of emails about 2 inches high. So I'm going through these emails, and I just sort of sensed that his tone had changed. But I didn't hear what he said. So I just kind of said, well, I don't know what you said there, but I reckon it's pretty disgusting, and that means, you know, we all know there's animals like you out there. But I got fired on the Monday morning. But the main reason for that was because I'd set up a wrestling company and Kelvin wanted half of it.
Right.
And I said, how much are you going to pay for half of it? And he said, nothing, mate. Otherwise you're out of a job. And I said, well, what? It's not fair. Give me something for half a company. You know, you set up a limited company, I worked my bollocks off to make that wrestling thing that I did work. And it just about did. And Kelvin strolls up, the fag on, and says, I'll have half of that, boy. And all I said was, well, let's talk about it. Gone. So that was the reason I was sacked that time.
I'm not being funny, but I can't see anything wrong with somebody saying, I'd like to shoot the whole lot of them. Was it in
I agree with you.
When
you say I'd like to shoot the whole lot of the royal family, it's pub talk for I disapprove of the constitutional monarchy. Doesn't mean I actually wish to get a gun. An Enfield would be good, or one of those Kalashnikovs.
It depends on how he said it.
Put them up against. Yeah, I think he might have said the F word. I really can't remember. It's on the internet somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
But yeah, it was pub talk, and again,
late night.
Was he entitled to his views? It was a bit. It might have upset one or two frail people. Were the royal family listening? I don't think so.
But I still don't see why that is not allowed.
Well, I got a call from there was the governing body of broadcasting at the time was the Radio Authority. Now it's Ofcom, and I got a call from them, and they just said, we're not bothered. We're not bothered.
Really?
Yeah, it's down to them. We haven't said that this is bad. All we'd have done is probably say complaint upheld, and that would have been the end of it. It was only one caller. One person complained. But funnily enough, Ofcom this week have upheld a complaint against an advertisement. A radio advertisement. Stuart looks shocked.
No, I think I read something about it during the week. I'm just sort of wondering which one it was.
It was an advert for Bosch. It was part of a marketing campaign. I was talking to the guy who was in the middle of all of this, and he was a bit miffed because he said, you know, what direction are we going in now? All it was that as part of this promotion for these Bosch tools, you know, they're kind of like manly things, aren't they? Well, Bosch! Even the name. Alison, frail, gentle, beautiful, luscious, angel-like creature that you are. Say the word Bosch without sounding like a thug. You can't do it. Go on.
Bosch.
Actually, you made that sound quite sexy.
Bosch.
It's got a C in it. Come on. Bosch. Anyway, the guy in the marketing commercial said something about this is the mother crusher of all hammer tools or something. And now, of course, we know that is meant to resonate with a word I won't actually use. I don't like mother.
No, I don't. It's horrible.
But anyway, they banned him. They took that off. Let's take a call. Thank you for dialing 01243 55 60 60. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, boy, Tommy.
Oh, Alan, hello.
They've got Tim Henman, Jason Robertson, and Tanny Gray Thompson on the telly at the moment because they're all retired from their respective sports this year.
Old losers.
No, but retired losers is more the term, Tommy.
So you've got current losers and retired losers. Anybody there who's won anything?
Tanny Gray Thompson was a winner, actually. We're in the wheelchair London Marathon.
True.
Jason Robertson. World Cup winner in 2003.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Paula Radcliffe.
And Henman we can rule out because he never won at Wimbledon.
Paula Radcliffe's had the most famous shit in the history of sport.
Yes.
That's about all Paul Radcliffe said.
Was it a shit?
They still haven't said.
Hold on. Hang on. We're looking at all the trophies in the arena now.
Oh, wait.
And good close up at him. There's our first Mike Tyndall there. Tanny Gray there. And we got Oh, God, it's that man from Working Lunch, Adrian Charles. I didn't know he would be there as well.
Professional self-deprecator from Birmingham. Thank you, Alan. Alan Caddick, our sports reporter, is watching the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award for us and keeping up to date with who is going to be judged to be the least loser of all the losers there, which is about what it boils down to. Yeah, they haven't said whether Paula Radcliffe had a pee or a dump. At the last Olympics, wasn't it the last Olympics?
No, it was the last London Marathon, wasn't it?
She was definitely abroad when it happened.
Was it? Well, I actually saw it live.
Yeah?
I actually watched it happen live.
She went around a car behind a car. You couldn't
to do
No, it was
something?
kind of by a tree. She wasn't bothered. She just squatted.
Yeah, but what did she do?
I think, to be honest, I think it was just a number one. I don't think there was...
A tinkle?
I don't think there was enough time or mess for a number two, to be honest with you.
Mate, look at Paula Radcliffe, a woman as... I mean, it just would have been a little rabbit pellet, wouldn't it? She's not going to drop a whole £2 stool.
If I remember correctly, the funniest part of it was the commentators trying to figure out what she was doing.
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't work out whether she'd taken a rest, whether she was about to collapse, and then you sort of have the realisation of, like, oh, no, she's going to the toilet.
She squat down, took her little knickers down.
Yeah, as far as I remember it, she just went like that.
Yeah, that's all you do, isn't it?
Went for a piss, put it back.
Yeah, it's very unlikely to have been a number two. That's likely to have been a number one. Don't you think?
I ran one marathon once.
Did you?
Anybody here run a marathon?
Jesus,
No. I ran one marathon. It was the first ever marathon, 1980, and determined to prove that there's nothing to it. I was still at a party at 2:30 the night before. I'm very proud of this. Smoking and drinking. And I had about 2 hours kit and I turned up. And I had a week in hospital after it, I have to say, because kidney stones came on.
Ooh.
But I remember at one point you're drinking along the way, and then you begin to realise you do want a wee. Okay? But this was early days and they hadn't planned any toilets.
Uh-huh.
So I was saved from doing a Paula Radcliffe, because you can't anyway, because there's people all lining the route going, Ray, come on! And they actually managed to find this little sort of bit of a bomb site car park, halfway, somewhere in the middle of East London, where all these men, they said the thing, they said, anybody who wants to have a wee, about 800 yards on your left. So I swung in, right, and I looked and there was this line, enormous line of about 200 men, all peeing up against billboards, right? But all of them were running on the spot. And I thought to myself, wankers, that's ridiculous. What are they doing that for? Trying to keep their pulse up or something?
Yeah, probably.
So I tottered over to a billboard, right, got it out, and I noticed that my legs were doing the same thing, because after you've run for 2 hours, you can't stop. In fact, when I got home, I was going up in the lift at my flat. I was still pounding the streets. But it was... but the point is, you do it once, and that's all.
So did the women have a place to pee?
I don't know. I didn't win, by the way.
And you couldn't carry on doing that if you were a woman, could you?
No, you couldn't. I didn't win. And I was beaten by a 69-year-old woman home, amongst other people who beat me. I was 37th to last out of 17,000. 37th to last. They send you a book with everybody in it, right? The order everybody finishes in, right? And I'm going through it. Nodded off. It was great bedtime reading. And in the end, I got to myself. There I was. Only 37 people came in behind me.
At least you did it.
It wasn't last.
Yeah,
At least it wasn't
And
last.
how old were you?
I was a good 26, but as I say,
that's
I
quite
didn't
young.
train for it. I know. And I had been up the night before and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And I recommend it once. Everybody should try it once. Everybody should try
I'd
everything
love
once.
to. I actually wanted to do it for my 40th, or by the time I was 40. But I've got a dodgy knee and a dodgy hip. And I just knew that I'd be half dead afterwards. I'm sure I could train for it. But what's the point, in sort of screwing up my knee and my...
If you walked it, you could be guaranteed a spot on the news, because they always have that one person in a marathon, don't they? That walks it or crawls it, or
sort of one of those sea suits with the big...
Yeah, it takes them 3 days to do it or something.
It is actually quite a moving event, and I worked on it because I got on quite well with the chap who set it up, called Chris Braysher, because we both like racehorses, and we got chatting about racehorses and various things. And he said to me, "Do you want a job?" He said, "Would you like to be the announcer at the finish? I'll pay you £4,000. Okay. A lot of money in the marathon, by the way. Anyway, So this is a very poignant story. This will make you cry a little